Hi, this is Jesse Cranu again, coming to you for one more episode of Stories for English, with stories for English students and teachers of all levels, to read for pleasure or to supplement an English course. In this podcast, we look at how literature and stories can supplement lessons and help English teachers and students to further their command of English in a more pleasurable and entertaining way. This podcast is for English teachers and students and teachers at large everywhere, whatever you may be teaching or contemplating to teach. Stories for English is helping teachers teach and students learn. This material is copyright 2016 on all known supports and all supports to come. Today we look at Farhad and Anna. Farhad and Anna. For Farzad. Listening to Farhad, you'd think he was a native. He had gone native so fast you couldn't tell him out. And he doesn't seem to miss his native Iran to the point of thinking of settling down here. He's naturally good-looking, and his swarthy, exotic looks make him the centre of attention the minute he walks into a room. Every girl's dream and a few men's. Their heads just turn on him. Farhad is in love. Like him, Anna seems to have collected all the good looks and good luck charms of her native Italy. Her language is so perfectly tailored, you'd never think she wasn't one of us. She's naturally beautiful, and her swarthy, exotic looks make her the centre of attention the minute she walks into a room. Every man's and a few girls' dream. Their heads just turn on her. But their heads don't turn, and they only have eyes for each other. Farhad won't admit it, but he's in love. Anna is waiting. She has been waiting from minute one. She's been waiting now for so long, maybe too long, hoping he'd propose, hoping he'd be the one, hoping she'd be the one, hoping and hoping, like only a woman can, like Moses, she supposes. And so everybody seems to think. Farhad talks about Anna fondly, but he's not settling down, at least not yet, not just now, not for long. Too long for Anna, who's beginning to lose her patience. But every time he thinks of going away, love takes over, and he thinks better of it. He thinks better of her. He's not having second thoughts, if he had any thoughts at all on the matter. Anna talks about Farhad lovingly. She's not giving up, at least not yet, not just now, not for long. She'll see him come round. She'll have him come round. She'll have him. But every time she thinks of going away, love takes over, and she thinks better of him, and she thinks of him. She's not having second thoughts, if she had any thoughts at all on the matter. Everywhere you'd go, you'd see them hand in hand, billing and cooing. A pretty picture of romance, a romance to end all romances. A love that they hadn't thought possible at first, given their differences. They didn't think they stood a chance. And waiting and waiting and waiting, she grew tired of waiting. And one fine day, one final day, she decided to see the end of his never-ending affair, surrendering, and so she dealt him the blow. One of them had to go, and they found themselves both on the road, only in each their direction, to reach each their final destination. And waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. He didn't think she was waiting. And one fine day, one final day, he hadn't realized she had decided to see the end of his never-ending affair. And so she dealt him the blow. One of them had to go, and they found themselves on the road only in each their directions, to reach each their final destination. There seemed to be no love there to be found in the end, a love game that was merely a love game, but a love with no name, a love that had outstayed love, a love that had outstayed love's welcome. Life with one another seemed empty somehow, piecing the pieces of their lives back together apart, a party that didn't mention back together. They parted company, and as they parted company they left, each returning to their homeland, from the wasteland of their loveland. They parted ways and departed, left to meet their destiny. Life without one another seemed empty somehow, piecing all the pieces of their lives back together. Still, life seemed to go on its own way, and time took its toll on their lives, on their love. Resisting the temptation to make an attempt, they held back. They held back their fears, held back their tears. As the days were getting longer, their loneliness stretched the years going by. Knowing every hour, every day, every month was drawing them further apart, never to be back together. Time took its time. Time lingered on, and on forward while staying on. People will read tea leaves, deal tarot cards, read the stars, and yet no one has been found yet to know what the future holds. And when they're so close to divining, it seems the future has moved on, like the horizon line. That is barely the only future most of us can claim to see. Sometimes in a spur, a surge of memories, future past times, busying themselves down memory lane, the past trying to make the future look alive. Each of them had secretly made a wish that they would return to Paris someday, one day, for old time's sake. And that day came, strangely for both of them at the same time, each with their new partner. It was time for a romantic spell in the city of romantic love, before they settled down to a family life. Time had passed, and their lives appeared to be in order now. Little did they know you don't cheat fate. You may stand still, you may tell tales, you may walk tall, but you will always fall and fail, and fate will take its toll. Try hard as they might, they drew apart and pulled apart everything they could do to cut the cords. Life's gonna get its back at you. Ask anyone anywhere in the world and they'll tell you Paris is the city of romance. And no need to question why 80 million visitors flock to France in a beeline every year. You'd just be a downright fool to turn away an opportunity of going there. Nobody in their right mind would. And they didn't. They returned even. The city that had once been the witness to their romance. For an eerie moment, Farhad had the thought he had just found himself an identical twin brother, there, right in front of him. No, of course not. It must have been a trick of memory, a trick of the light, wishful thinking at best. And for an elusive spell, Anna couldn't believe her eyes. She was staring right at her very self, facing her. No, of course not. It must have been a trick of memory, a trick of the light, wishful thinking at best. That look that passed in their eyes as their gaze met, like thunderstruck. And strangely, each of them had the partner that really looked like them, like the future had won, had got its way in the end. Eventually together forever. Way there could have been two. There was no way there could have been two. How come? How could? But then the queues under the Eiffel Tower moved on, and they lost sight of each other and track of each other. A blitz, a blast, a flash of lightning, that they were together brought a smile to their faces, and their holiday was proving to be more than just rewarding. Language. Country. Countries. Homeland. Nation. Nations. Citizen. Citizenship. Nationality. Apartment. Apartments. Bedsit. Bed-sitting room. Block. Blocks. Condo. Condominium. Flat. Flats. Council flat. Home. Homes. House. Houses. Villa. Villas. City. Cities. Hamlet. Hamlets. Village. Villages. Avenue. Avenues. Road. Small road. Main road. Street. Streets. Arrive. Come. Emigrate. Go. Leave. Migrate. Travel. Move. Move away. Move in. Move out. Move flats. Move houses. Settle. Settle down. Wedding. Honeymoon. Lot. lots, plot, plots, avenue, avenues, boulevard, boulevards, close, closes, drive, drives, road, roads, square, squares, street, streets, design, design a house, build a house, let a house, rent a house, 1, 2, 3, bedroom, 1-bedroom house, 2-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, flat, detached, semi-detached, terrace, house, lovebirds, love nest, love, lovebirds, love nets, expressions, make a house a home, home sweet home, home is where the heart is, there's no place like home, right or wrong, put things right, put the world right. Songs, the Beatles, All You Need Is Love, ABBA's I Do, I Do, I Do, I Do, I Do. Joan Armatrading's No Love, Vera Lynn's We'll Meet Again, Kate Bush's Babushka, Rupert Holmes's Escape, the Pina Colada song, Paul Young's Wherever I Lay My Hat, That's My Home, The Temptations' Papa Was a Rolling Stone. Now you, role play. Meeting again after all those years apart. Farhad and Anna meet again under the Eiffel Tower. Imagine that conversation. Thanks for listening. Teachers. Teachers may use these stories as a springboard for reading and discussion, or merely for reading and practicing, as well as developing reading and reading comprehension skills while consolidating command of English and language. And of course, our podcast for English teachers and teachers everywhere, Desperate Teachers, where you can find relief and material to help further your teaching and your students' learning. Stories for English is also an audiobook by Tori L. Wilson and Dave Wright, and is followed by more stories for English, an audiobook by Kathy Broderick, all on sale on Amazon, Audible, Fnac, Kobo and iTunes. While many more of my audiobooks will allow you to get more learning and pleasure from listening. Audiobooks offer the option of listening while working or commuting and traveling, and they can be played over and over again. Let's meet again in our next podcast